knowing where your money is going, like what's coming in and what's going out and where, and understanding your why and really having that data is so grounding. And it's life-changing, especially for people who have never tracked their spending and their finances in general before. Hi, beautiful beings. My name is Brittany, and I'm so excited to be connecting with you here today. I will be recording the third video in my financial freedom series. I will be recording it. That's what I'll be talking about as you receive this video right now. In the first video, I shared about my story. I've shared about my story before on my channel, and I gave an updated one because my business life, financial life, my feeling of freedom here is ever developing and growing, and has changed a lot since I started my channel. My second video in the series was a lot about the internal work of shifting our beliefs, which I feel is the most important part of changing our paradigm around anything, and in this case, around our relationship with finances and value and worth in general. And this video, the final video in the series, is going to be more about that external, like, okay, so what do I need to do besides shifting my mindset, besides being available for the awareness of my beliefs? What do I need to do actually around my money, my finances, my numbers? How do I shift those? And what do I need to do to make the change? So, gosh, I love talking about this topic. Thank you so much for being here. I honor you for being here. This is often a very intimate topic for people. I feel like I was brought up learning that money was pretty private, at least on one side of my family. My parents were divorced, and on one side, I was taught that that was kind of a topic that you didn't talk about. And gratefully, I'm grateful that with my dad, he actually was really pretty open about finances and taught me a lot about tracking them, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. So many times I connect with people who have a ton of fear around looking at their numbers, basically looking at where their money is going. And a lot of people don't know. So there's a fear of the unknown. And usually what I find 9 times out of 10 is that the fear that the person has conjured up about their financial situation is worse than it actually is. And that's a judgment anyways, because who's to say, is this a good or bad thing? It just really simply is what it is. And knowing what it is so helpful. Gosh, it's just like, that's the underlying thing I want to provide you with in this video, is the feeling of knowing where your money is going, like what's coming in and what's going out and where, and understanding your why, and really having that data is so grounding. And it's life-changing, especially for people who have never tracked their spending and their finances in general before. This is something that I've been really into doing for a long time. I started doing this, I think, in high school, but if not then, definitely by college. And I originally just did it out by hand. And I traveled the world in a backpack, and I carried around this like little notebook, and I would track every day what I spent. And I had this goal of spending, it was for my partner and myself, and we were spending, I think, $30 a day. That was our goal. So it was really fun for me just to see how we did and what we were spending money on. And then when I got to, stop living out of a backpack, I did it on a spreadsheet. And I think I had been doing it on a spreadsheet before that too. And I just started with Excel and made a really simple budget spreadsheet that I kept myself, and I actually sell a similar template of a really basic budget spreadsheet for like $10 on my website if you want some structure to play with. And And then over time, that switched into me using QuickBooks for my business or my 3 businesses now, that 2 of them I have with Connor and 1 on my own, where I track all my everything there so that it's really easy for taxes and just for all the awesome reports it generates, etc. And then now, actually recently, because I have still been doing like my personal slash budget, my gosh, my mouth, personal slash business spreadsheet, budgeting in that Excel spreadsheet. And I've actually just recently switched over to YNAB, You Need a Budget, which is youneedabudget.com. And I'm loving it so far. So there are a ton of resources. That's just one of them. You Need a Budget is just one online like budgeting software that you can use. You could Google and see what other ones resonate with you. The point being, choose an avenue, whether it be paper or a spreadsheet that you create on your own, or using a software to start tracking what you are spending and what's coming in. You want to know your numbers. And from there, what happens is actually kind of magical. It's amazing what the awareness can bring. So that's the main skill I notice people needing to develop and working on with people if we're talking about their finances, is really getting used to a pattern of tracking and how to, the words like hold yourself accountable, which is funny because that's accounting, in a really positive way, like how to bring awareness to what you are spending. And I'm talking so much about spending because that's what I'm finding is people are coming to me saying, it feels like more money is going out than is coming in. I'm not sure, like I feel like I don't have enough. So I haven't yet had somebody come to me who said, I have too much coming in and not enough going out and I'm not sure what to do with it. So I do think it's super important to track both what's coming in and what's going out. And also I know I'm talking a lot about expenses and this is why. When forming a new habit around tracking, it usually takes an initial lump of time to get you set up. If you're using a software that's like linking in your accounts, setting up your categories as you like, categorizing your transactions, reconciling, that's all. If you're using QuickBooks or You Need a Budget, I'm still getting to know, but it's a similar thing. Like you're categorizing your transactions and you're seeing where your numbers line up with what you have budgeted. When you are creating that initial budget, what I recommend doing is create a budget from what you have been spending, like what your life has been looking like, how much has been coming in and how much is going out. So many times I think people have this idea of creating this like ideal budget. And if you want, create another space for that. That's so welcomed. And also it's gonna be really helpful if you can begin with what you are already doing. Because changing the habits can come over time, especially with awareness. And meanwhile, you want to know, like, I want to provide for the life that I am living, and then create an existence, you know, where I can alter those numbers. Maybe you want to have a bigger savings account for now, or you want to have some investments, or you want to invest in a program, something like that. So the initial thing is like setting aside a chunk of time, multiple chunks of time, and sort of saying like, okay, this month or these couple of months or these weeks or these days, depending on how many avenues of income and outcome expenses you have. It'll depend on how much time it takes you to get the initial setup. Once you have the setup, then create a weekly date for yourself. I've tried daily, I've tried monthly, I've tried multiple times a week. Weekly seems to work really well for me. Feel it out. I have a weekly date with myself on Fridays, 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. every Friday. I'm doing accounting. And I used to resist having a regular accounting time, and I just wouldn't honor it. I felt like there was always something that was more important, and my books reflected that. I would often get behind a couple months, and then I would sort of like dread doing my accounting, and I had this idea that it wasn't fun. Since I created a goal to gain financial mastery and to have a positive relationship with accounting, I now love my Friday dates. Like, I am so excited about them. I look forward to them all week, and I really honor those 2 hours with myself doing the accounting. And with my accountant, that's another option, is getting a coach, getting an accountant, getting a financial advisor, like some sort of support, especially if you're feeling like you're in a situation that feels overwhelming to tackle on your own. And I'll put down a couple of options below of people that I would recommend working with if you want to, including myself. I do that kind of work. It's not my profession. It's not like something I went to school for. And also I am here to offer my wisdom and to support you if it makes sense for us there. So getting that, and sometimes in the beginning when we're setting a new routine with ourselves, it really is like showing up without the internal fire and excitement for it, and finding that over time that will build. And building this consistency in your relationship with yourself around finances and tracking will feel grounding. And a lot of the time, I think it has been that fear of looking at yourself, fear of seeing certain elements of you or the lifestyle you're choosing that might feel confronting, challenging to be with. And also, I know if you watch my channel, that is something that you are available for. And it's something I highly recommend. I recommend doing something that scares you every day. That is also exciting. And I really find that this can fall into that category for a lot of people. So my third most powerful tip, when you're ready to get down to finances, track what you are spending. Track what's coming in, track what's going out, make a system of it, do a big overhaul, get yourself set up, and then do it every week. Create a system. The other thing I do is once a month, I have a second weekly date, because once a month I reconcile everything, I do any payouts I need, I manage the books for 3 businesses that I have, plus like my own personal stuff. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what I think is essential, in addition to changing your beliefs, which I think both of these work hand in hand. As you show up for yourself consistently, you will create more trust here. Your beliefs will be shifting, and also you can come at it from both ways. Yeah. I'm wondering, feel free to post if you have any other questions down below. I really wanted to create a series that was simple and profound and gives you the tools without going into too many details. If you do want like case-by-case details, reach out to me. We could set up a coaching session, or I could get you linked up with someone who's awesome who can help you out with this more. It's such an important area to take control of, to be the leader of in your life. I feel like it has the potential to be so grounding. It really reminds me of like taking charge of our bodies, like what we're putting into our body, how we're moving our body, and how powerful it feels to be living in a clean body. I feel very similarly about finances, and feeling like our relationship with money and wealth and value is a positive, empowering, strong one. And you really deserve that. And it can totally be that way. It's just like any other area of life, you can really create what you desire there. And I'm excited to be putting energy into that with you right now. I appreciate you so much. Feel free to post questions down below. Sending love your way. Mwah.